What's going on, guys? Welcome to Cruising with Kevin. Today we are going to be working on this 1977 Chevy Silverado, I guess it is, custom deluxe that I picked up from California here. Got a lot to do on this thing. It turned out to be way more of a project than I had anticipated. Still got lots to do yet, so I'm going to be doing this over a few videos, but I'm going to show you guys what we're up to today. And like always, guys, help me out with the channel. If you guys comment in the video, if you ask some questions, whatever, if you guys like, subscribe, all that stuff, it really helps me grow the channel. So appreciate all the support so far, but let's get working on this thing. Okay, guys, so I didn't really show you a ton of it at the guy's house. I don't always record when we're picking things up. But kind of get an idea. It's a California truck. I don't know if it originally started there. It sounded like it did. And according to kind of what I was understanding is the guy that had it prior, this guy bought it as a project, never did anything with it. But the original owner apparently was just basically used it as just a truck. So it's not in perfect shape. It looks probably better than it is in some ways, but it would be a good builder. So I haven't fully decided to what I'm going to do to this thing yet. You can kind of see there's some whiskey dents there. Got a little bit of a rust patch there. Underneath it's pretty good. It's missing wheel nuts. I don't know why. When I fired it up there yesterday, even on the trailer, when I first fired it up, I couldn't believe it. At first, it fired right up there. It's got the toolbox that's gonna have to go out. It's bolted to it. It's a 77, so it's got a pretty good dinger here. I don't know what exactly happened. Something obviously fell on that. I think the hood's okay on that point of it, but again, you can see it's pretty twisted in there. So I'd like to get a bumper for it. I don't know if the brackets are actually twisted too. That could be another problem. Actually, it kind of looks like they are now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, likely. So there's that. It's got some rust in the hood here. You can see the others. Dan needs to start stealing parts from that truck. It's got a couple little dings here. You can see. I mean, you're never going to get away from that. Now, the worst part of this is it looks like he took spray paint. Like there were some scratches and scuffs, and he just started touching it up with spray paint. So otherwise, because what I was originally thinking was I was going to just kind of go with what everybody's doing these days and just kind of go with the patina look and clean it up a little bit. I probably could if I wet sanded it, but I'm not sure yet. You can see the two mirrors are mismatched. One's chrome, one's looks like this one just got painted. It was chrome maybe. It's got some rust down here. The doors aren't too bad. That's savable. It's starting to rust there. A little bit in the cab corner. It's kind of like a typical square body, but just kind of worse in places. This has got a big wrinkle right here. Again, I don't really know what the deal is there. It's like maybe got a flat tire and it wung open the rubber and kind of twisted that or something. If you guys watched my very first video, you probably know how that could potentially happen. This thing's pretty gutless. I don't know if it just needs a tune-up or needs to get some fresh gas in it here, but another big problem is here. You can't even read the gauges. There's the glasses or plastic or whatever is so fogged from the sun. That sun just annihilates things. The one big thing I really liked about this truck was it's a factory AC truck, so I'll kind of show you here. But like, don't really understand why people do this. Let me get this hood open first. So you can see the evaporator and all, whatever. I don't know enough about AC, but that's all there. It actually looks like, I don't know if it was a fresh engine at some point here, but the AC compressor is missing and the condenser is missing here too. Hard to see it there, but I haven't checked anything else over. When it fired up, it literally fired first pump of the key, and then as it started to run, it ran worse. So It was a factory 350, so if it's been swapped or whatever, I don't know for sure what it would be. But yeah, so let's take a look in the glove compartment, see if there's anything exciting there. I literally never looked at anything. I just I gave the body a quick once over and stuff. See what I mean? They started kind of like spraying patches, and it's actually, you can just see, just they sprayed so much it just started running the paint. I don't know what the idea was there. I don't even want to sit in this thing. It's so dirty right now. Oh, there we go. Got the typical Chevy where it's gonna fall out here. Oh, see what we can find here. Oh, hey, there's actually some parts in here. Roll up window handle. That's nice. Mirror plugs. I don't think I'll be using those. Some light bulbs. Oh, I got some door pins. Brand new door pins for it, which is funny because they don't even sag. Door lock knobs. Got a headlight wiring harness. What else we got there? Let's pull out some of these receipts here. All right, so nothing too exciting. Looks like back in 2018 they put a battery in it. It didn't have a battery when I got it. Would have been probably bad by now anyways, because that was 7 years ago. So I just threw the one out of the Matador in it for now. Anyways, I'm gonna clean this interior up a little bit here, see if we can at least get in it without getting covered in dust, and then we'll go from there. All right, I'm gonna wipe the dash down first, maybe the doors, a couple things like that. This thing is so gross. It's like, oh, it's actually brown under there. Should have almost got some Windex and some paper towels. I'm scared to sit on the seat. Oh, maybe I will be able to see the gauges yet. It's just like plastered in just dust too, I guess, or whatever. Holy cow. Figure I'd show you guys this option tag here. So all weather air conditioning, so factory AC truck, fleet side, which means just straight bed, heavy duty front and rear shocks, V8 engine, 350, vario ratio power, I have no idea. It's N41, whatever that means. Push button radio, which it still has, you guys can see there. California emissions, which it has the factory manifolds for that still. I don't know how that all worked, but it seems to not be totally connected anymore. This is the interior color, solid paint, which is still original. Soft ray tinted glass, which I think is actually still original too. See how it's got the antenna in the middle? You can kind of see it probably doesn't work because it's broken at the bottom, looks like, but that's common. Oh, heavy duty chassis, locking differential. So that means that it's probably got, ooh, I'll have to go take a look and see if it's a 10 or a 12 volt. 4,000 watt HD Delco painted rear step. So the M40 Turbo Hydromatic, that's a Turbo 400 transmission. So that's pretty awesome. And then buckskin vinyl and the tire sizes. So let's go see if this thing's got a 12 volt. I never actually looked at that, if I'm being totally honest. And it's got a Posi 12 volt, which is pretty sweet. If that's the case, let me take a look here. Hard to count while I'm holding this thing. 2, 3, well, let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. It is a 12 volt. So even if it didn't have a Posi, because it's probably got a crappy Posi in it, like my old truck, which broke right away. The old truck had a, trying to think here. Give me a second. Whew, it actually felt good down in the shade there. The old truck had a, what do they call it, govern lock Posi, and it was broken. So I cheaply welded it. You guys saw one of those videos there. I didn't have a good enough welder to penetrate very good for that, so it didn't last super long. But I actually have basically it's not a full Posi, like it's a, oh man, I was looking for it on my shelves here to see if I could find it, but basically it's a ratcheting locker. I forget the name of them, but and they work pretty good as well. But you have to have an open carrier to use that, and so if it's a posi and it's broken, I can't use that. So um, I tried to do a little burnout at the end of the driveway yesterday. Whew, I am sweating, and yeah, it didn't do it because it was running pretty terribly. So I think it just needs a good tune-up. I do have parts here that I could put into it. I have a brand new set of headers here. I have an intake I could put on it off of this car actually. I think I have a decent carb I could throw on it. So if I really want to throw a little power into it, it would pick up a little bit for sure. It would wake it up. Just the headers alone, it makes a big difference actually. So not sure. It's probably got smog heads. See if you could look at the manifolds here. Let me see if I can show you. Right on the top of the manifold, there's like these plugs. It's something to do with emission stuff. Obviously, that's been plugged and bypassed or whatever. So that's probably, and I didn't think about it because I forget about that because I don't really buy vehicles in California very often. But California, 75 and older, you don't need to pass emissions. Well, this one's a 77, so it's probably a hard to sell truck too. So that's again probably the price or whatever. So gonna go vacuum it out now, and then I got a guy coming to look at my other truck there, my 515,000 mile gasser there. So we'll see what happens there. All right, guys, I got to get out of the sun here because I am dying, and it's way cooler in the shade over there. So I'm gonna try to move the truck over. I just put the battery cable back on. I never trust leaving vehicles like this sitting when you first get them until you test it out. So funny, I had a brand new door handle for it, but he used a pair of vice grips instead. So I'm hoping it's not all messed up on the threads here. See if it starts up now. Let's see if it'll smoke or not. As bad as it did yesterday. Probably just needs to run for a little bit. I think there was like maybe a couple of gallons of old gas in the bottom of the tank still. This thing probably hasn't really been driven since about 2019. Before I move it, I'm going to add some power steering fluid. Probably a lot of younger people didn't know this, but like power steering fluid, and I don't know, maybe it is today still, but it used to be a lot more expensive than transmission fluid. So if everybody would just put transmission fluid into the power steering fluid, I actually have put Lucas oil stabilizer and it actually fixed the leaks, which I don't necessarily recommend that, but you know, if you don't want to spend a bunch of money or whatever, it might be worth trying instead of replacing your pump or whatever. There's definitely some emission stuff left on this thing, but let me fire this thing up again and I'll show you guys how good this thing runs. Got a end for my Ryobi vacuum here, and apparently it was too big. I thought the shop vac ones were the same, but I guess this is like half the thickness here, so this is probably 1.5 inches, and that's probably 2 inches or something like that. I don't know. I have a 6-amp battery on this Ryobi vacuum. Works pretty good. I have 2 of them actually, but I keep one with me so that when I have problems like you guys saw on the trip home there, I have an impact with me, so I make sure I have a good 6-amp battery with me. So let's get cleaning. I just wanted to show you guys how dirty this actually was. There's where I did a quick pass with the vacuum all the way down to there, and then there's like the bottom to the top. It looks like that side's got some staining, probably could use a steam cleaning. I don't hate these seats, they're okay. This one doesn't tilt, which is kind of annoying. You can't get behind the seat, it just slides. So I don't really like that too much. I really like those seats I put into the other truck, but that was a pain to conjure up. And just look from wiping the dash down how much it's already come clean just from that. So it's coming along here. Gonna keep cleaning. So I don't know if you guys could see that or not, but this is like the dirtiest I've ever seen under the seat of a truck. That's not carpet, that's dirt. So the seat doesn't tilt forward, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna deal with that. Anyways, it's coming along here. All right, this is totally the wrong way to do this, but I've got some water, 2000 grit sandpaper on this. You guys saw me buff the Matador with this thing. I'm just gonna spray a little bit on here and see if it actually starts taking any of this off. I'm pretty sure that's just Rust-Oleum or something similar that he sprayed on there. Probably not Rust-Oleum because that would cost like $6. The Walmart stuff probably costs $2, so that's probably what it is more realistically. So I'm just gonna go with this thing and see if it does anything without fully taking off the paint. If it takes off the paint, well, I'm going down a different road anyways. All right, I just did a little bit here just to see. And you can see this first part is where I buffed it. So it probably would come. This is kind of what it was before, and this is what it is now. Didn't fully take it down to the paint, so if I was gonna go for a patina look, it probably would work. Not sure yet, but I was just messing around to see. All right, started tinkering around with it here, and instead of fixing it, I think we're just gonna go take it for a bag drive instead. We have to decide if it's worthy on keeping long term or just a quick flip before we actually do anything to it. So we've got the AC blaring here. Oh,
just back.
Oh man, it's so dusty.
Hey, found a knife.
Oh, so dusty. So it feels like the brakes are dragging. You can see all the gauge clusters falling apart there. Speedometer doesn't work. So about on par for what I usually buy. This one actually runs and drives, which never happens.
Removable glove box.
Removable glove box. I probably should have told him that. Good thing I just vacuumed it all out. Nice, nice.
Nice.
Okay, we drove it a couple miles here. It's like the front caliper is definitely on the driver's side. Ooh, that's interesting. I'm going to show you this. It is smoking from the caliper there. Maybe we should check that. Let me just park first. Whew. Feels like it's full on dragging though. So, I would imagine that the hub's probably getting hot by now. Whew. Seatbelt works great. So when I grabbed the brakes there, it almost threw us in the ditch because the right side's working and the left side's dragging. All right, probably back to the house to see if we can find some brake parts there before this thing starts on fire.
Girlfriend lean on it.
Yeah. Oh. Whose girlfriend?
Oh, not mine.
Oh.
I'll tell you that. Someone's mother.
Ooh, that rim's hot too. All right, well, back to the house.
Let me take the wheel off and cook an egg on it.
That was no brakes, by the way. We took it for one drive, and it's running terribly now.
It did work.
I mean, we barely drove it because the caliper was there. I think maybe it's sticking, possibly. You can hear how it's running now, though. Oof, it is running terribly.
Well, on the bright side, fuel filter has been changed in almost 10 years.
Yeah, OS touching the bunch of the alternator there. Holy cow.
Well, you can see where the ground cable's been hitting that alternator fan a little bit.
Yeah. Wow, that is running bad. Looks like sucked up some crap from the bottom of the fuel tank.
Yeah. Well, something's been leaking too. Hopefully not antifreeze.
Looks like to me like it had a new radiator. Oh yes, that whole thing. I do remember now.
Looks to be coolant that we're leaking.
It is. Because there's
Yeah, I see it's duct taped.
yes, the cap was leaking.
So,
I wouldn't touch that with a hot engine.
should we see how many times I can poke it before it blows? So, at some point someone duct taped that.
Yeah, I actually saw that when we started it and I forgot about it. So hopefully it still got antifreeze in it. Doesn't look like it leaked very much since we drove it though. Or did it?
Not much.
Not enough to overheat it, right? Maybe that's what the buzzing sound was. Maybe that was the dummy for the overheat. Oh, how's it feel?
To be fair, none of the gauges work.
Ooh, it got pretty hot.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Hot day for a hot engine.
Well, interesting. That sounded like a hot engine.
That does make sense.
That makes a lot of sense. I wonder how much antifreeze we lost there. It didn't blow out though, like it wasn't like blowing out. Like,
I'll look over the hood. A little bit.
yeah, that wouldn't have been enough to. It was full because I checked it. Wouldn't think. But there was a buzzing sound as we pulled in here, and I'm wondering now if that was the temperature. Oh, yeah, I don't. Oh, it smells like old gas. I'm thinking it's mixing up the old gas from driving it and getting into the carb or plugging up the fuel filter.
Probably needs a tune-up, fuel filter, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that was a fun 5-minute journey. All right, we were just working on the other car for a bit while this cooled down. Gonna see if it starts and runs better now that it's cooled off. Oh, just kidding. Stole the battery for the other car. All right, we've been bouncing back and forth cars here. We had to go up and get some gas, so put a little more gas in this. Oh, so he took the fuel filter off the square body here. Hold that. Set it down. We're just gonna put a clear one on to see if it's actually like that's. I don't know. It we put a little antifreeze in it. It didn't leak a whole bunch, so it's just that I think that plug was just starting to leak a little bit there. So it definitely didn't get hot. We only drove it for a couple of minutes there, probably like 5 minutes. So
It got a little hot.
it got warm, but not overheating hot.
But we can't see the gauge, so technically it didn't overheat.
It's a possibility that maybe the thermostat is stuck. It's been sitting around for a long time, and if a California truck, I'm not sure. Did it have antifreeze when you checked it?
It did. Had a little
So
bit.
it had antifreeze in it at least. Most of the southern vehicles, they only have water, so.
But there was rust in it too.
No, apparently there was rust in it too. So we'll see if it, see what this, even right now, if just changing that fuel filter, it smells like old gas. So there's a filter inside the quadrajet carb too on these things. So if you don't, like, basically you should be changing them both, is what I'm saying.
It's good to put a clear one on it too, so you can see the fuel that comes out.
Yeah, exactly. So basically just can tell if it's like really bad or something like that. I don't really want to pull the fuel tank out of this thing, but I don't think I'll have to. So fire it up again and see if it runs a little bit better now.
I bet you it's a distributor.
Sounds like a shorting spark plug wire to me. You could hear like a little bit of buzzing sound here. See, I think that's what was happening earlier when I started running choppy.
I'm gonna take the air cleaner off so I can see it better, but
You could see the one pulley just a little tweak there. That distributor is like way turned, but it could have been the way they dropped it in there.
just grab all the wires.
Yeah,
I'm all right.
I'm actually gonna go see. I've never tried this. I think I have a spark plug wire tester. We should check it for the heck of it. All right, so I got this little tool I've had forever, and I've actually never used it. And
So,
basically, you just put it to ground, and then this is like there's like a little light inside there.
Right,
so,
right there's the light.
yeah, just a little.
The way it works is when these spark plug wires build power, it creates like induction, which is magnetic electricity, and it just reads it gains like the electromagnetic field around that wire. So,
Wait, it sounds like there's possibly a vacuum leak here too, but we're just gonna check
you
some of
can
these
see
wires.
right there. You can see it sparking in that light. It's not hard to tell, but it is sparking.
Yeah, if it was
I'll check it
nighttime or
up here.
something, but
Yeah,
we're just
that
gonna go
one's
through them
good.
all.
I mean, it's working. It might be weak. It's really hard
It's
to
got
tell.
some really old wires on it
Yeah.
too, so just
I
figure
mean-
we'd mess around and try it.
So there is this line, which I think is your. What were those?
This is just all like emissions crap. This is a charcoal canister.
So I was gonna try to plug that, but there's a piece in there.
All right, as we were inspecting things a little closer here, we realized that this is normally to the heater core over here, which maybe it was leaking or they just didn't want it connected or whatever, maybe, who knows. Lots of times they leak and then people just loop them. Well, it's supposed to be looped down to the water pump here. There should be a spigot there and then loop it back to there. Well, there's no loop, so that means it's just pressurizing up the system, and that's probably why it's getting hot like in no time at all here. So we'll have to.
Also, doesn't help we're leaking coolant.
Yeah, it's leaking coolant pretty good down here, so that's not a benefit either apparently. So I think there's actually some heater hose in the toolbox on this truck, I'm pretty sure.
That's probably where that actually came from.
Yeah, probably exactly where it came from.
But we still don't have a nipple for it.
And I'm wondering now, I'm wondering if this is why they parked this truck, because they could only drive it for 5 minutes and then it would overheat. Because there's lots of heater hose here. It looks like it's never been used, or you know what? It probably was. That's probably like my son just said. That's probably what it came out of, because you could see there was hose clamps on it. So that was out of this truck. They were just not not realizing.
Which I did
that-
see they put a lower radiator hose on it at one point.
Yeah, because it probably was blowing off, because it's probably not realizing, because it has to circulate there. There's no other way. That's how it works. So that's interesting.
And that would make it run bad.
Yeah.
So, issue.
Yeah.
Also, there were some vacuum leaks. What I was saying is we could probably just take all these off and plug most of them. Like this one, for example, is emissions.
Wow, there's like tons of emissions
that
crap on here yet.
That one's your PCV. This one is. I don't know what that is for.
All you normally need is one from your valve cover to your PCV, one to your brake booster over here, and then you can pretty much plug the rest. One for your vacuum advance on your distributor, I guess, and then that's about it. That's all you really need. So that's a whole nother thing, I guess. But
Well, this one I think is your choke, isn't it? Or is your choke?
The choke should be on the other side there. It's electric probably on this one, or a riser.
Looks like a riser. Yeah, it's a riser right there, so that box there heats up.
Yeah, it'll actually work really good. You just can't really find these carbs to go with that anymore, but it seemed like it was running okay otherwise. But yeah, well, just kind of see, I guess, what the next steps are here.
Gives us some things to work on.
You can light that down. Thank you. Oh, that was almost the fingers.
These ones were the best for the grills, so they only made these grills in What was it, 75, 76, and some of 77.
And it's actually good. Usually these grills are almost always broken or chipped up or whatever. It's actually in good shape still. But yeah. Well, I guess that's probably it for today. Oh, mic's working.
Okay, I think so.
All right, guys. So we're bouncing back and forth between projects here a little bit, but you guys saw us drive this thing. The caliper on the driver's side was like pretty much on fire. It was dragging. We only went a couple miles with it, and then it was starting to get hot a little bit. I don't think we overheated it, but now it's kind of running bad. We think we got maybe a little bit of crap just in the carb or whatever. So we're going to, we picked up a set of calipers, pads, and hoses, brake lines for this thing, rubber brake lines. We're going to change the fronts out on it, and got some rubber hose. We're going to just put the loop in for the water pump there, do all that stuff, and then I guess we'll see if this thing drives better. I ordered some more parts for it, so as I have time, we'll start working on it some more here, but I'm still short some stuff here, so we'll see as I kind of travel around if I could find some used parts too here. But in the meantime, we're going to do as much as we can. All right, we're just getting in here. I'm taking the brake lines off back here. You need a 1/2-inch wrench. I already cracked it loose there. So just getting a pan to put underneath it so it doesn't leak fluid all over the floor, like we did yesterday with the other car there. You can see now that it's pointed right at the rust there at the bottom of this fender. We were looking at this fender yesterday, and it's not going to be able to be changed anyways because not going to be able to be reused because you can see how it's bulged out there. I don't think I could hammer that back in. I could fill this with Bondo if it was flatter here, but I don't know if I'd be able to do that. I guess I could make an attempt at it, but not seeing how that would work. Probably not, more than likely. So probably end up buying a fender for this side for sure. Maybe the other side. Probably just make life simpler. They've gone up in price. You used to be able to get them from Amazon for like 100 and 129, I think they were. Maybe even a little cheaper. And they're about $250 a fender now, so here's what it is. Okay, there's 2 more bolts in the back of the caliper here. I have this ratchet I really like with this flexible handle. Oh, that one's tighter than I was expecting. My son was just telling me that the master cylinder for these square bodies is the same as the one on the Matador, which is interesting.
So we do have a master if we do need one. But
yeah, we have a master because we never put it in the Matador yet.
I doubt we'll need it.
All right, so that's what those bolts look like there. Get both of those out, and then we'll see if this one actually comes now. It's more of like awkward leverage to try to go downwards instead of upwards. Oh, there we go. Not too bad. All right, get this taken off of here. You can see here, if you look right here, that's where obviously the pads, the brakes were like on a little bit, whatever. Maybe the caliper was stuck or whatever, because this is the one that was like on fire yesterday. Surprised it's actually turning, to be honest. But obviously that was what was going on there. So we'll take this all apart and try to replace all this stuff, and hopefully it's good to go. So elaborate what exactly is happening here right now.
So taking off this hose right now, but there's a bolt on the back side of this bracket, so
And it's going swimmingly, right?
Not bad. And that's how you get that off. Just like that.
Oh, you didn't cut it yet.
No, I didn't get it. Oh. So easy.
I thought that was the one you were fighting with.
No, it was that bracket there, because there's a bolt that goes through it, and it sits like this in here. So just getting a wrench on the backside was a little tricky, but it sat like that, and then the bracket went and sandwiched it like that. So, but we got it.
All right, so you can see we got this one off here. This half of the pad is about, I would say, half worn probably. This one's probably 3/4 left still. We could reuse them. Already bought a new set, so we're just gonna throw them on. But when we spin the wheel bearing here, kind of hard to hear, but there's a little bit of just a tiny bit of noise. I don't think they're bad, but they probably should be repacked. So just because we have it apart already, we're going to take them off and repack them. And yeah, this is if you're just doing it on a budget or whatever, you could definitely reuse these, but they're pretty cheap, so we're just going to change them.
Feels so good to tell these idiots that the skid steer sold. It drive me crazy, dude.
Should I put that in the video?
What?
Should I put that in the video?
It's not even recording.
It's not?
Mm.
What, it is? Show specific names?
All of them, bro.
Okay, we're not going to put this in the video, Jennifer. Okay, guys, well, I've kind of showed you guys this on a few videos here and there when I use it. I have a bunch of different products that I use, but so this AIM lubricants, they were a supporter of my channel right from the get-go pretty much. They came out and they wanted to kind of basically just offer me some of their products to use and try, and I said, well, if they are good, I'll say they're good, and if they're bad, I'm going to say they're bad. And they've been really, really good. Actually, I use a bunch of their lubricant stuff on all my chain binders, that kind of stuff. You guys see it all the time. Hood hinges, door hinges, like everything like that. It's pretty much a replacement for WD-40, but it actually lasts. So WD-40 dries out. This stuff doesn't. It's good for the environment. So anyways, I'm going to repack these bearings a little bit here as best I can. So like usual, you can get a bearing packer if you want or whatever. I've never had one because I was just talking about I do everything like the poor man's way. So I'm gonna usually just put it in my hand, and then I have to deal with getting all the grease off my hand afterwards. For once, I was smart enough to put gloves on. So I'm gonna take the bearing out here. It all looks pretty decent yet. So there's the bearing. Everything feels pretty decent yet. I'm gonna put some grease into my hands here, and we'll just basically tap it into my hands. I'll show you guys here. Doesn't take much, just kind of basically put it in your palm or whatever and just kind of work it in until you start to see it coming out of the bearings. If you want, you can take this thing on a parts washer and clean it up, or brake clean or whatever first or whatever, but the grease in here actually wasn't that bad, so I always do it on both sides too. Like I said, it wasn't really that bad, so I usually just take it in my hand and palm it a little bit there. Wait, that didn't come out right. All right, so just make sure it's got a lot. I guess the advantage to totally cleaning it out is to make sure you're not mixing grease, but that's probably what you should do, but
It's a
it's not what
shitty.
I did. Yes, it's not what I did. But it's all good though. Like I said, most of it was just dried up, kind of was starting to get to the verge of being hard or whatever. So as long as it's got some grease in there, it feels like the bearing and the race and everything are good here, so should be good to go. I'll do both sides here, both wheels, and then we'll go on to the next one. Okay, I'll just show you guys how I usually do it. So I just packed both those wheel bearings. The back one has a seal on it, so I didn't pull it out. We just put grease in there, packed it up, and whatever, and put a little bit on the shaft too. It was pretty good anyway. So like I said, if it was bad, if it gets too bad, it's gonna have to be to the point where you change that spindle, but that's pretty rare. Would it ever get that bad? So you just put it back together how you took it apart. There, it's literally just a cotter pin here. There's this wheel nut here. There's a washer there, and then the bearings behind it here. When you pull it apart, the other second bearings on the back side of it. And when you're putting it back together, you just keep spinning it and just keep tightening up this nut. I don't know how far I can go here yet, but keep going there. Keep going. Must be like way out here. Let me just do this. Basically go until there's like tension on it. Go a little farther here. It's pretty tight. And then we go back about a quarter turn. That's probably about it. Find the cotter pin hole, and away you go. Of course, I didn't keep track of where that was on this one. Yeah, nothing to it. I don't really show a bunch of DIY stuff. These square bodies are so easy to work on though. So probably the hardest thing you'd have to do is like brake lines or something like that. That's common in like rusty places and things. We're gonna try these lines because I think it was just the caliper sticking on this side. So probably only needed one caliper. We probably could have just done it. Depends how much of a budget you're on, right? So we'll try to put it back together. The hoses are only like under $20, let's say, or something like that. You can order all this stuff from Amazon or O'Reilly's or whatever. So I buy a lot of my parts from O'Reilly's just because they treat me good over there and things like that. My son works there, so yeah. So we're gonna get this thing back together, and hopefully we can just bleed it and be good to go. And hopefully I don't break the bleeders this time.
All right, while he's doing the other side, I'm done my brakes. I'm going to be fixing this water hose deal. So you can see right here on the top of the intake, there's this, it's hard to get, but there's that hose there. I guess they plugged it. It must have been leaking at some point, which these actually usually run to the backside of this evaporator box over here. There's two outlets. I don't know if you can see right there. And that's actually your heater core. So it takes warm coolant from the motor, which it pumps from the water pump here where I got this hex, and it actually pumps. You usually have a barb there, and it runs to the heater core and then cycles back into the intake here. So I'm going to take that hose off and then take that plug out, and I'm just going to loop it around and run a hose from there to there, and then it'll be good. So we'll do that. All right, so this is what came off of the intake there. It's got 3 hose clamps on it and then some kind of plug. I didn't take that out to see, but that is how they decided to plug it, which is kind of funny.
All right. We're trying to loop this hose back or whatever. We only have 2 different size fittings, so we're going to have to cinch up that hose really tight. But all this emissions crap that does nothing because it's not connected to anything is getting in the way, so we're going to take some of this stuff off here. Like I said, all you should have is for your vacuum advance, the big one on the back should be to your brakes, and then usually the front one goes to your PCV. So that's about it.
I like that. Is fine.
Yeah, this one's an emissions carb, so it's got one extra thing for that charcoal canister or whatever, but no big deal. Still running kind of rough though. We brought it in here too, so but got the brakes all together. We just got to bleed them here, and hopefully that's all we need to do, and maybe we can drive this thing.
All right, so we went to go bleed the brakes, and we weren't getting any fluid on the driver's side, which the driver's side was the one that was locking up. So I'm just going to assume that hose is swelled right shut. So we have new hoses. We're going to change that one hose and try and bleed it and leave the passenger side before we continue bleeding. So
we were trying the quick fix, but it now that I'm looking at it closer, this side definitely looks a bit swelled. So we'll try this side and see how it comes apart, and if it does, not too bad. We might do both sides. See how it goes here.
All right, so on these brake hoses, this goes through the frame, and then it's got this little nut, and it is 15 16ths, and it just threads onto there. It is a big pain to get at it. We were fighting it for probably 20 minutes. He finally found a deep well socket, and I got it with a 1/2-inch ratchet, and then we got it with our finger the rest of the way. But that was not fun. Don't try to get a 5/8 wrench on there and turn it, because it does not go. We also learned that the hard way. It rounded that off with an impact. So,
but it's definitely plugged.
Yeah, you can see. Look inside of there. That is very swollen. I don't have the new one to show you right now, but
so just elaborate on that too. Like there's a tube nut that threads into that other side there.
So on this side there's threads, and you can see there's that
just
flare.
A flared nut.
Yeah, there's a flare in there, and it seats on that flare there. So we had to take that tube nut off first. So it was just a 3/8 fitting. And then after that, we could get on and get this little nut off. So we'll be reusing this with the new hose because I don't think they come with it. This is the new hose here. You can kind of see how that works. So we'll probably just be reusing this nut right here to thread back onto there. But it shouldn't be as bad because it's not all dirty and rusty and grimy. So
on to the next problem.
Guess that's where you learn. Why would they do it that way?
All right, since we're showing you everything, I just happened to see this from underneath. You guys look right where I'm putting that. That frame's got a crack in it. And so I'm expecting, so it's not actually bent, but I'm expecting whatever happened up here with the bumper and all that stuff, when that bent, it rammed into there and broke that. So I'll probably eventually have to weld that or something from the outside just a little bit. It's still pretty square. A guy could box it from the inside too if you want to strengthen it up there a little bit. I've never seen that happen. When they get hit, usually they'll just like buckle, but apparently in this particular case, that was not what happened. So it's actually cracked along the bottom there a little bit too. So it is what it is. We'll leave it for now, but eventually I'm going to have to probably address that. All right, so here's the situation. Down in there, it's kind of hard to see in there.
Made a run to the parts store and got this flare line wrench. We had just a regular one, but I couldn't get a good angle on it. So we went down and they just make a little swivel one that we got on, and I had it in there like this and then kind of pushed down on it. Took a lot of torque, but I broke it loose, so now I'm gonna try to get it with just a regular opening wrench now that we know it's not stripped and it's loosened off. So.
You missed the part where he fell off the bucket and almost kind of fell into the corner there.
Fell off the bucket and gave myself a nice nut tap. So.
So it actually worked pretty good though. So if you guys are like having trouble getting into it, like this is actually pretty good. So pretty useful. We'll probably be using that in the future again.
Okay, we got this hose off. I'm just curious. So I'm going to cut it to see how swelled it was on the inside because we weren't quite sure. So,
just guessing.
You can see right there. You can barely see through it at all. I'll cut this side too.
So what we're figuring here is when he was, we were trying to prime. So we replaced this other side. We thought, oh, this other side was working still. So the side we're doing now, there we go. And he's like, hey, I'm pumping the brakes. Just I'll let go of the brakes and see if you could spin it. And you couldn't because the fluid wasn't returning to the reservoir quick enough or whatever. So obviously we had to replace that. So we got this wrench. That wrench basically helped us get it off. And then there is this like nut with a 15/16 wrench on the back side inside the frame here. So you got to do that to be able to get it off. And then it just pulls out. And then there's a 1/2 inch inside here where this bolt goes on the back side there. There's a 1/2 inch bolt that actually holds that in there. So if you guys are ever doing this, that's what you need to do. All right, we just finished up. Oh my gosh.
Continue to try.
Okay, try to. Okay, we just finished up the brakes on this thing. We ended up having to put, we think we probably could have reused the calipers, but we changed them anyway. So we put 2 new calipers, brake pads, and the lines. Once we had the right tools for the lines, it wasn't that bad. Probably the one on the driver's side was the hardest because of where it is. It's like hard to get up, but he did a lot of it there. So that actually helped a lot because there's places where it was like just awkward that he got into a little bit better. So we're gonna go take it for a cruise here again and make sure the brakes are all working, and then next step is probably going to be a tune-up. All right, we're hearing some little noises. We think the fan's possibly hitting the shroud. Not 100% sure, but just taking it for a little cruise here. But it's definitely not dragging the brakes anymore. Feels a lot better. Sounds like it's running a little bit better again here, but still definitely needs a tune-up for sure. But taking it for a little burn here anyways. Who's that? Oh, it's your wife. Oh, I won you. All right, guys, so there you have it. Lots to do. Still have a ton to do yet here. It's tough to work in the heat and, like I say, lack of space here. Still working forward on getting some shop work accomplished there, trying to break some ground and get some supplies for that. So we'll see how that all goes. But like always, guys, thanks for watching again. I'll keep you updated on what's going on with this thing. Follow me on social media. I am Cruising with Kevin on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching again, guys.